you're delighted to get this particular game.
I wanted this one.
Yeah, because of the man who's breaking off right now. And what a break it is to start the match.
It's not a bad start, is it?
Maybe that's why he's late. He's been practicing that break. Really gets through it. Didn't actually control the cue ball that well, but the way that the cue ball stayed up and the balls have gone in, that's sort of indicative of the form that Andrew Patchett has been in the last couple of months, isn't it?
I mean, he's got to be delighted here. Yellows are pretty much tap-ins. We've still got to take them out, obviously, but I expect nothing but a clearance here.
Yeah, you can't ask for much more, really, in the first frame of a quarter-final than to have this. I mean, you know Patch well. How pleased have you been for him, the run that he's been on this season? It's been incredible, hasn't it?
It's just great to see mates do well. I think that's the long and short of it. But I know him very well. I know he'll be nervous. I know he'll not show it though. And if he gets off to a good start, he'll settle early, I think. But it's just about having that good start.
Yeah, I had a brief chat with him earlier after he won through his last 16 match. And he said he didn't feel too great, sort of a bit up and down in the match, and had to keep battling through, and eventually got to a point where he was ahead, and then started to play some good stuff towards the end. And I just thought, even listening to that, I thought that's just so indicative of where he is at the minute, that he's so confident that when he's playing badly, he's not worried about it. He's just fighting through it. Whereas previously, if you're struggling for a bit of confidence, you start playing badly, it tends to never ever correct itself.
Exactly, yeah. If he gets off to a bad start, I think sometimes, everyone can get a little bit flustered, but he seems to kind of brush it off. That's, I think, one of his main strengths is the fact that he can, don't want to say he's carefree, but or careless. He's just not bothered if he has a bad start. I think he's just he'll just get through it, and he'll just focus on his own game, really.
Yeah, and a great trait to have, and it's almost sort of boosted by the fact that he is playing so well at the moment. He's in the Champions League Final Four on Monday night, and to get there, he's had the hardest run out of anybody ever, really, to have got to that stage. The two groups that he's taken down, absolutely incredible levels. And, here he's in the quarter-final of the Pro Series the weekend before. He's on some really, really good form at the minute, and this tournament isn't over for him. He could go into Monday and already win his first Solomon Pool major.
If I know Patch, and I do, he'll be thinking this is a bit of a practice for my Champions League. That's how he'll take it. That's how I'll look at it. So I think he'll relax into this match. And
I was going to say, does that almost take his way of taking the pressure off in a way?
Yeah, exactly. I think everyone's got different ways of coping with it. I think I definitely just try and distract myself the best I can, and I think Patchett's the same.
Yeah, it's interesting. I spoke to John Chambers yesterday after he won through against Ian Alley. And, I asked him, I said, as the fact that you're in the Final Four on Monday, as you see Jaden break in off, is that fact, altered the way that you're sort of looking at this weekend and you're approaching it? He said, no, I'm one match at a time, Joyce. I'm trying not to think about it. I'm sort of all, I'm focused on this one game at a time, and, when Monday comes around, I'll be really focused on that. Yep. But that's how I'm approaching it. But I did wonder, that was part of the reason why I asked it, because certainly for me, the non-elite pool player that I am, that would be, I think, the approach that I was taking. I'd be looking at this weekend. It's a bit of a free hit. I'm in a semi-final on Monday. I think that's let the arm go.
Exactly the attitude to have. You've still got something to look forward to. You've still got a final coming, and you've got to treat this as you're going to put every ounce of effort in. But this is kind of getting your arm going for that final you're in already, and as a result, you'll let your arm go in this one as well. Not a great start for Jaden.
Yeah, he did this on the flip side yesterday, Jaden Billingham. He started amazingly well against Callum Singleton, ran the first two in pretty effortless fashion. Just half a shot for Andrew to play here. He's run a little far if he's picky, but just to hold the cue ball. Yeah, he's done well. Pretty perfect, actually.
Dream start, really.
Yeah, he couldn't have asked for much more. He might just have more angle on this than I first gave him credit for. So, yeah, runs through rather than stuns back, but 6 and 2 threes, really. You're taking this all day, aren't you, for a 2-0 lead? In goes the 8 ball, and Andrew Patchett is off to a hot start. Right at the beginning of this match, we're going to go right towards the end of the match on table number 2. This is the women's table, 6-4. Danielle Randall won that last frame. And here she is on the hill. And she should be able to get the job done right now with us live. She had a brilliant weekend in the first event in Wigan, did Danielle. Ran to the final against Marion Judes and ran to the semi in event 2. And she's looking good again as she takes the win over Megan Proctor. Into the semi-finals she goes for the 3rd straight event. That's some form. Yeah, 32 women pros, so slightly different kettle of fish compared to the men's series. But I suppose if you divide the games, that's like running to 3 straight quarterfinals in events, and you'll take that all day long, wouldn't you?
That's how you look at it.
Yeah. Great run for Danielle, that. Brilliant. As Patch breaks off in frame 3, and he is... I'm not surprised he's been going well this weekend if this is how he's been breaking.
Well, look at these as well. Reds. What a start.
Yeah, he does need to mind that cue ball because it's the sort of thing that could come back to bite. But he did this, to be fair, in the Champions League group. That's where I saw him last, where his break was so powerful. He didn't always have the white, but he was always giving himself chances.
It's all about getting on that red in the middle of the table here. Once it gets on that, it's done and dusted.
It actually, I think, Josh, it works itself out really nicely. I think as long as he's... I mean, he could take it now, but he'll take the one to the bottom right first. Just come back to where he is, red to right centre, and you're automatically on that red to centre left. Actually works out really nicely. Yeah, he's just looking at the line he wants to be on.
Just important that he gets straight on this.
Yeah, and not be too far the other way. Doesn't want to be heading towards the black, so...
It's fine there, can just roll into the black.
Yeah,
absolutely fine.
Yeah, nothing for short there. He could have been a bit long, but this is A-OK. Yeah, pretty perfect. Jaden Billingham, a mere spectator so far. Worth pointing out this is in the bottom half of the draw. So Tom Cousins, we've already seen through to the semi-finals after that victory over Josh Kane. He will play the winner of Chris Melling and Carl Sutton, which is currently live on table 2. We'll take you there in a moment. Andrew Patchett with a 3-0 start here in this side of the draw. And it's safe to say that firepower is firing out of the blocks. This is a pretty impressive start from Patch, and he will hopefully, from his point of view, await the winner of Darryl Whitworth and John Chambers. Josh, this is... I think Darryl put it quite nicely when I spoke to him earlier when he got through the last 16. I think he said, you know, there's no easy games, but I think it's safe to say the draw's opened up. And for Darryl Whitworth, John Chambers, Jaden Billingham and Andrew Patchett, in that bottom half of the draw, one of them will be a finalist.
Yeah, I mean, they've had such good runs. And, you know, at this level, we talk about the big players. You know, you expect your Cousins and your Declan Brennans maybe to be in the back half of the tournament every time, but anyone could beat anyone.
Well, I think that's part of it. The reason why this draw's opened up is because they've all had to beat someone really good on the way. You know, Darryl Whitworth took care of Stevie Dempsey, who's the 3rd seed, first round. John Chambers has seen off Ian Alley in the last match. Yeah, Shane Thompson fell to Matt Cook, who was then beaten by John Chambers. And yeah, Jaden Billingham through Callum Singleton last night and Dylan Leary this morning. Andrew Patchett got by Christy Caulfield last night, deep in a decider. I don't know if you saw the end of that one, Josh. Oh, it was... let's just say, if Andrew Patchett goes on to achieve something pretty special this weekend, that might be the match that he looks back on as the turning point in the path to the final. Christy Caulfield missed an 8-ball in that decider that he will never ever want to see again. But first time at the table, 3-0 down for the dual Jaden Billingham.
I think it'll be a weird situation for both of these players, Jaden and Patchet, because weirdly, I think they'll both come in feeling like the favourite in this match to win.
Which is probably a good way to be.
Yeah. But you know, if you look at it and think it's not a bad draw for either player. No disrespect to obviously either standard, but
I think that's exactly how they will look at it. You know, I don't think you'd be human if you were Daryl, John, Jaden and Andrew and you're in that section of the draw knowing one of you four is going to the final. All four of them will think that
what an opportunity.
I can do that. That can be me. Like real belief rather than, you know, with all the respect in the world to those four players, the top half of the draw, Melling, Sutton, Cousins, Kane, all four of them have won an ultimate pool title at some point. Two of them have won hundreds, it feels like. You know, it's a different half, isn't it?
What a chance for all players, yeah.
Yeah, there's no easy draws, but there's certainly harder draws. That's the way we look at it. Jaden's taken these out beautifully. He has the air of a... I nearly said a man. he has the air of a kid who just does not remotely care what's happening on the other side of the table.
He seems very unfazed. I think it's just his demeanour and the way he goes about things. You know, he looks very unflustered. Very impressive for someone, you know, such a young age.
Yeah, just completely fearless as well. You know, 3-0 down, big quarter-final, main arena, plenty of people watching. First chance wasn't easy, and he just dishes him up. No dramas. Rack him up, ref. This is Chris Melling looking to go level with Carl Sutton. These two are... Oh, well then.
Did not expect that.
No, you'd have got some pretty long odds on that missing for Melling. And Carl Sutton here with a great chance to go 2 frames up. So here's a shot that Chris Melling played earlier, we've just been told. We've queued this up. I don't know what's about to happen here. But our producer said you're going to want to see this. Oh, wow. Oh, wowee.
He'll be saying he played that. Perfect on the 8-ball as well.
That's astonishing.
That's a kick in the teeth.
And so's that for Andrew Patchett. First break dry for Patch. Can't break perfect all the way through the match, and Jaden Billingham will be thankful to get this opportunity. And a chance to essentially just return serve.
It's been one visit pull so far.
Yeah, it's been a great standard. Yeah, been a great standard.
Obviously expect nothing less, but under the pressure, under the lights, impressive nonetheless.
Yeah, I found this myself watching Jaden last night. I just had to keep remind myself that he's 17.
Yeah, well, you talk about you know, the darts, the kind of the Luke Littlers and the players coming through like that, and you know, I think Jaden's definitely got that aura about him.
Well, I said this to who's I commentating on him with last night? It was Craig Waddingham, and I said to Craig, I'd imagine absolutely none of you lads up at the top of the rankings want to draw him, because he comes in completely unseeded, but most importantly, he comes in completely unfazed. He doesn't care who he's playing. He's going to play pretty much the same way against everybody.
It just seems like it's free rolling every time he's playing.
Yeah, you know, and that's scary, isn't it, when you're in the other seat?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, that's a great way of looking at it. I think you're absolutely spot on there. Yeah, he plays every match just completely on its merit, doesn't really care who he's playing against. And that is a skill that you just shouldn't really have at that age. But I think that's part of it. I think he's almost he's got a really nice naivety about him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, in a really positive way. Just doesn't care.
Yeah, just playing pool. Just in a major quarter final. No biggie.
He was honest with me in his interview last night after beating Callum Singleton that he started to feel it a little bit. I asked him, I was like, you look like you're just playing in your living room at times, Jane. He said, no, I was particularly towards the end, I was really feeling it. And
I did catch the back end of that match, and to be honest, I've watched as Jaden's won. I was like stood behind him, and he's walked back to his seat and he's puffed his cheeks. So I was like, oh, he does care.
He is human, yeah, absolutely.
So.
Well, we're underway on table 2 here in the next women's quarter-final. This is Frances Finer. She Championnet taking on Barbara Taylor. She's had a fantastic weekend so far. Knocked out her international teammate, Marion Jude, in a decider last night. And Queen G is plotting beautifully over on table 2. If you want to watch that, you can do. Ultimate Pool TV. Table 2 is your women's stream. Jaden Billingham back on the break. Didn't get all of that. Does he get a ball? Yes. Does he get a nice cue ball and a nice layout? Also yes. Isn't it a stupid game?
I hate this game. Just hate it.
Yeah, that's an objectively bad break from Jaden Billingham. He's done everything that he doesn't want to do, and yet look at how they've come out. It will be reds. It could have been yellows. That's how good the split is. He just wants to land on that red to top right first. That was the only problem ball, and I think he's pretty good.
Both players' splits have just been, well, the breaks have just been huge.
Yeah.
Not always I control the white, as you said, but doesn't really matter if you're hitting them that hard. You're putting 2 or 3 every time, and you'll need the white to stay on the table if you're getting a layout like this.
Okay, so I wonder if he's gone a little bit far. He can reroute here pretty nicely. It's just he wants to get rid of the one at the top.
Yeah, you can either screw and try and find the gap he's got now, which I think he's going to do.
Or just accepts distance, stuns to the right, because he needs the angle to come underneath the red to the left centre.
Yeah.
So he's played a good shot there, but I think he may be hampered, which makes this a tough shot.
That yellow's right in the way, but I don't think I expect anything to go wrong. But good shot. Yes. Better shot than it looks like. It's a bit lower, so he's going into the black now, I think.
I'd be pleased that he's off the cushion. If he wanted to try and nip this, he probably could. But yeah, he's just accepting the cannon. Just needs to judge it. Oh, he's just played that perfect. That's lovely. And in it goes for Jaden Billingham. 3 each. He has indeed returned fire and returned serve. Patchett won the first 3, all off the break. Jaden Billingham has won the next 3, all off the break. Carl Sutton has won the next frame against Chris Melling, and then Chris Melling has bit back, only then to break dry. This match live on the Ultimate Pool YouTube channel. Melling 5, Sutton 6. First to 8 goes to play Tom Cousins in the semi-final. I want to head over, if we can, Mr. Director, to table 3. We're going to look at the Burton derby between Kyle Cope and Rob Chambers. And Rob took the first frame. Kyle looks like he's in shape to take the second.
Yellows aren't. He's got to mind his work. That yellow at the top of the table is going to be key.
Yeah, table 3, if you want to watch and see if Kyle Cope gets out from there. He's left himself a nice angle there to go at the table, so we'll expect to. But we're back with table 1. 3 each, all 6 off the break. That's a much better hit from Andrew Patchett. And I thought he was going to get rewarded by going in off, which would have just summed this game up, wouldn't it? But it stays on the table.
There's been so many nearly in offs, haven't there, in this match so far.
This one would have been cruel though, because he gets that little pop and it just stays nice and safe until it doesn't. You can see there he's almost braced, isn't he, for it going in, and he can release when he finally knows it's safe. Another great split for him though.
Yeah, first glance, it's got just because of that yellow, that red at the top of the table. It's got to be yellows, and all yellows have a pocket. The black's a little bit, you know, covered. But they're plenty of balls around it to get on it.
Yeah, I'm a tiny bit surprised to see him not take that yellow out the way early, because he was so nicely on it, you could just get rid of it. But he's got enough angle there, I think, on both sides to be pretty comfy on getting back to it.
Yeah, I'd have took it first as well, because you only leave that for a bit of endurance, but you know, if you're taking the clearance on, you've got to take that ball. So, and now he's a little bit awkward. I think he's got to just come off the cushion is fine actually, but yeah, I think it should have been.
Yeah, cushion first there was for sure the play. The only thing you would say is he's got a bit of work here, because I don't know how close he can get to his work at the bottom of the table, and he'll want to be. We're going to see a big drawback, or is he going to accept distance?
Be interesting to see where the 8 ball goes, because I'm struggling to see a pocket the 8 ball actually goes in.
I wonder.
Don't know whether it goes top right past the red.
I wonder if it goes left centre as well, perhaps. I think top right's a good shout.
I mean, I think the shot, I'd be playing the one down the rail and screwing back. Just leave myself an angle on the yellow there is playing now to roll into the black almost, and you're always on the other yellow. But the fact there is not, you know, he's not thought about moving it, you know, to me means it goes.
He's just looked top right. I'm almost certain that's where he's planning. And the one thing I would say, and it's sort of, you know, I can say this pretty honestly, always going there right centre, this squeezes through the gap. That's a little touch for him. I assume anyway, you wouldn't play this any other way if it didn't.
It doesn't look like a full pocket.
This is, yeah, let's have a look. No, he's okay, it clearly goes. And now he's on the 8 ball. Yeah. But yeah, it's one thing that I noticed, is obviously I've done both of the Champions League Monday nights with watching Andrew, so I feel like I've watched quite a bit of him this season. And he seems to have a really clear idea in his mind at the start of the finish how he's going to end it, and it's not always the most obvious and orthodox, but what matters more is how clear in his mind he is and how effective he is at doing it, and it is very, very effective.
He's not very, you know, flappable, I think. You know, he doesn't change his mind a lot, and that's good for this game. You're not second guessing yourself, you're just kind of seeing, you know, they're playing the first thing you see. And, you know, when you're playing under the shot clock as well, that can only help you.
That's 7 straight off the break for these two. They're having fun out there. Not Andrew Patchett looks at it. It's all business at the moment.
You could tell his face that, you know what I mean? He could smile a little bit, but yeah, all business.
So Rich Road's going to get us restarted here. 7 off the break between Jaden and Andrew. And this match has ticked along quickly. Oh, and this time Jaden is going to get punished. Rode that corner pocket in a similar way that Andrew has, but he gets kicked in off. Almost get the sense as well, Josh, and you'll probably know about this sort of better than I will, but these two players almost, I feel like, represent their areas in a way that not all pool players do. Like, I feel Jaden is so well backed in the West Midlands and the Black Country, and same for Andy in Yorkshire as well. Like, they all have their supporters here this weekend. Of
course, we're all obviously I'm going to be quite biased in saying I'm behind Patchet, but yeah, of course it's nice that both sets of players have a lot of fans here supporting them.
Yeah, both from little sort of heartlands of 8 ball, aren't they, respectively?
All I do know is if Patchet lifts this title, I will never hear the end of it.
tell you what, honestly, the way that he's playing at the minute, it's not that it wouldn't be surprising, because obviously it was. You look at the players still left in the draw. Of course, you're not going to make Andrew favourite, but just the way that he's playing, every time I've watched him, he's just been so unflappable. I wonder if he's genuinely starting to really hold belief that he can take one of these down.
I think so. And why not? You know, when you're playing like this, when you're breaking like this, getting the splits like this, you know, you've got to have every confidence.
So I think every player turns up here to Bolton thinking they can win, because you wouldn't turn up if you couldn't. But there's a real difference between that and like a genuine belief that you're ready to win one of these things. And that transition can take a while to come, especially for players who've sort of come up through the ranks like Andy has.
I think it helps when you have that one good run.
And strangely, did his one good run come in the plate event of all events at the British Open?
Yeah, well, that's another way. You know, I never heard the end of that one either. You know, I've won my first ultimate pool title, of course, the plate event.
Yeah, never the one that you want to win, of course, but as he rattles in another one, 5-3 up. But you can't substitute winning. And of course, when he came to that tournament and he probably finished the group stage, he's probably seething that he's in the plate event. But to then go on and take it down, you've got to beat some really good players to do that.
Of course, yeah.
And there's no substitute for winning titles, for confidence. And the way that he's taken down his 2 Champions League groups, yeah, he's a player on the rise for sure. And he's 2 frames clear now of Jaden Billingham, all 8 frames off the break. And the first half of the match is over. We've only got 7 more frames possible to come. And yeah, this has been some standard as we take a look down at the arena there. Plenty of players milling about. Can see players in different series vying against each other. It's a brilliant venue, this, isn't it, Josh? We were having a chat before we came on air about how much you're enjoying the setup.
It's a great venue. I've never seen anything like this for pool. So good for the game.
Okay, so work.
The first tricky layout.
Yeah, there's been some good finishes where, you know, they've had to work some good patterns, but this feels like the first one where you're like, okay, this would be a really... It's just gone up a level, hasn't it?
It has. It has.
It's a tough layout.
At first glance, it is yellows. You've got a yellow down the bottom end of the table to break your other yellow open. But I'm not even sure he might take these on. The way he's playing, I think he'll want to take them on.
Yeah, possibly. Can he get through here? Is he playing yellow? Yeah, he
Yellow
was.
yellow.
I mean, how was that for confidence? Okay, so he's gone yellows. This is good. This is match play. He's played that to play this shot. That's clever. He needs to weld this cue ball if he can.
Yeah.
And welding it to the red without having it touching ball is actually even cleverer than leaving him snookered.
Definitely. I think Jaden will just return the favour now, though, and put him behind the red. Yeah.
If that's touching ball, he could be in trouble, because this red's coming off the table if it is.
It's touching.
Yeah, which means Andrew can play away. He's not tempted to pot the red. He's going to do the same shot he played before.
Oh. Foul.
Well, they are tricky little shots.
They're awful, those.
Yeah, he'll be frustrated. No question about that. Great camera angle to see it.
I don't think it's going to lose him the frame straight away, unless Jaden can play this red off the yellow and screw out up the table.
That's what he's playing. It's a really aggressive option.
First glance.
Okay.
Not bad.
The yellow going up to block the top left corner could come back to haunt him.
I do. I think the red that is blocked by the yellow that you mentioned goes to obviously the middle and the bottom right as we look at it now on the camera angle. And that's where he's played for, so it's on his bad ball now.
Yeah, goes top right, and he's played an excellent shot. It's good work that from Jaden. Went after it straight away. It's a tricky layout, this.
Still
really
tricky, yeah.
Just really got to mind your P's and Q's.
The positional side of this shot is not easy either, unless he can run through and just leave the gap between the yellow and the 8-ball to play another red long.
Yeah, this is tricky. Yeah, looks to find that gap. I think he's got it. Again, he's playing a pretty precise line there because he wants to be able to stun to have the red to the left centre any further, and he can't. He's struggling to get there.
Yeah, I think he can just roll forward into the yellow.
Yeah.
I think he'll be fine. He is stunning it.
Yeah, that's perfect. He was absolutely perfect there. Played a really good shot the shot before. Well, the first mistake of the match. The first time it's not gone off the break. We've had to wait for past the halfway point in the match for that to happen. But it benefits Jaden Billingham. Andrew Patchett fouling. Brushing the object ball with his cue. Very easy foul to do when he was tree-topped as he was. But it has ended up costing him the frame as we head back on over to table 4, this live feed on the Ultimate Pool YouTube. And for Yorkshire fans of 8-ball, Chris Melling has to find himself a frame here. He's up against it against Carl Sutton, who is on the hill. Great break from Melling. Can he get a ball? No, he can't. But Carl Sutton does have work there. That's by no means a guarantee for Carlos. That's a tricky little layout.
Yeah. It's
on the hill against Chris Melling. All you want's a good chance, and I'm not sure that is. So Jaden back on the break. He's back within 1. Loads of time left in this match. These two have played at a great pace. He's going to make a ball.
No danger of 6 red shootouts with 26 minutes left on the clock.
Yeah, and I think
rattled through these.
Yeah, and I think Patchett sort of dragged Billingham along with him a little bit. He's played at a good pace. Felt like in the match we saw last night with Jaden and Callum, Jaden almost played at Callum's pace, and that sort of naturally just slowed the match down a little bit, and it got towards the end and it was, you know, they're in real match clock trouble, whereas that's absolutely not happening here. And of course the splits dictate that. You know, we've had what, 8 out of 9 off the break, so you know, first visit clearances, the clock's always going to run a little shorter. But
yeah, both players full of confidence as well. It's always going to be a quicker game. I think he's going to be taking this red over the pocket now with a bit of right hand side to come back down the right hand side of the table. He's hit it too hard and he could be in off.
Oh, Jaden. Oh, that's such a big error. Oh, that's such a big error.
Oh, what a chance now for Patchet.
Well, both players foul. That's their only mistakes. Too far, Jaden.
Oh, I think there's a bit of adrenaline on that one, but he's okay.
He's plumb, isn't he?
He is. He's perfect.
Yeah, and it is completely unquantifiable, but when you're playing well, that's the sort of thing that actually starts to happen for you, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm asking you.
No,
that was what your face said to me now. Like, what do I know?
It happens often.
Ooh, well. Now then, all this could get fun. We've had a perfect first half. Are we about to see a bit of a twitchy second half as we approach the finish line?
It's frustrated. Jaden needs to take these out now.
Yeah, and you expect him to.
To really make it hurt.
Oh, that's okay. It's okay. It's a good shot. Thought that flick in the red might have hurt him, but he's absolutely perfect. even at this stage of the match.
Well, that could be massive, really.
Yeah, 5 each as we sort of head into the the final knockings, really. But Andrew fouls, Jaden punishes him and wins the frame. Jaden fouls and he gets away with one. You see Barbara Taylor at the table. On table 2 against G Champagnet. And you can see this one over on table 2 on the Ultimate Pool app. We're just going to head on over back to the YouTube stream as Carl Sutton here has, well, got 2 reds away from winning this match against Chris Melling, but rather you than me, Carl.
So you get on the last red.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I think he might just...
Because you can cut the outer one back in.
Of course, yeah. I think he's looking at almost like stunning off the left-hand cushion, leaving himself a double.
Back to Andrew Patchett we go. Didn't get his cue ball.
And there you go. That's what tends to happen.
Yeah.
One mistake and then the world is against you.
Yeah.
Try break.
Yeah, let's jump back to this shot because Carl's made the red. And how about this for a cash ball to knock out Chris Melling in a quarter-final?
It's not as if he can drop it in either. He's got to play this with a lot of topspin.
Oh, what a shot,
Cued
Carl.
it so well.
What a shot, Carl. Well, that's a shot good enough to win any match, and Chris Melling is on his way out of the tournament. That is money from Carl Sutton, who goes to the semi-final against Tom Cousins. We're going to run it back to the quarter-final here between Jaden Billingham and Andrew Patchett. Oh, I tell you what, that's some stones there from Carl Sutton, that shot, wasn't it?
And some.
Unbelievable shot.
If this yellow passes to the top left-hand corner, I think he's had a little bit of a touch here, because that red could easily have blocked this. Oh, and it does, but he's not on the yellow at the top of the table, so he's having to come down the table now.
Told in my ear, Josh, that we need to say hello to YouTube. Live on the Ultimate Pool TV app. But hello to those of you who were watching Carl Sutton and Chris Melling on the YouTube channel. It's Stephen Jameson, Josh Juhas with you here in this quarter-final between Jaden Billingham and Andrew Patchett. And Andrew Patchett is going to come back to the table. This has been a brilliant match. I know you haven't been watching it because you've been watching Carl Sutton and Chris Melling, but this one's been a cracker. First 8 frames all off the break, and then in the last 2 the cat has started to swiping at some pigeons and it's got mixy.
Yeah, just one mistake each, and each player's capitalised on the other ones, so very, very even match so far.
Jaden hanging that yellow after Andrew broke dry, having made a big mistake in the last frame.
Just got to hold your nerve now because they're all there.
Well, they're pretty much level because they both had that one foul and they've both now had a jarring missed pot. So everything is so even.
Well, as I said, I know Patchet quite well, and he's blessed with a very, very short memory, and I think he'll need it. Seems to have forgot about it.
Said this a few times, but I'm a big believer in how much, in the psychology of all sport, not just this one, how important confidence is. And it can manifest in different ways, but I think for me in this game where it is impossible to play perfect for sustained periods of time, you are going to make mistakes. For me, confidence manifests itself in this game in not being afraid of them, in making a mistake and just coming back and just bouncing back.
Yeah, you've got to accept that you're gonna have mistakes. You're gonna have matches where you're gonna make a couple, and you're gonna have matches where you're not gonna make any. It's how you bounce back from them. That's what separates the top ones, the top boys, from the others.
Yeah, and that's what Andrew Patchett's been doing. That's where he's at. He's been magnificent this season. Let's take a look at the Bolton derby. Oh, now then. Is Magnet beating Steel? Rob Chambers, 4-2 in front of his protege, Kyle Cope. Rob's had a bit of a tough week being a Man United fan. This would be
a tough year, isn't it? Not just a tough week.
Yeah, it's a tough decade being a Man. But
apologies if there are ever Manchester United fans listening.
You can say that, I'm not going to. But yeah, you can see the Red Devil on his shirt. He's a die-hard supporter of Rob Chambers, so it's not been the greatest of weeks for him, but he's looking to bounce back by getting the win over his wee mate.
He sees a 4-2 result in his favour then.
Oh, Jaden Billingham's gone dry and he broke those well. This is exactly what we saw in the last frame, isn't it, for Andrew Patchett? It really has had a lovely flow, this game. It feels like both players are almost mirroring the exact same performance.
Exactly, yeah. I think at first glance there is work on both colour sets, though. Obviously you've got the reds, but obviously you've got that yellow over the bottom left-hand corner, so he'll have to work his way around that. I think it will be reds, though. Well, if he's got the angle, I'd be tempted to screw this red in that he's landed pretty straight on and screw into that area and try and dislodge them. So I think you're always on the reds at the bottom of the table. Didn't quite have the right angle, so maybe a loss of turn shot. He's tried to play the skill shot, but I was going to say no harm done, but they didn't say anything.
Yeah, yellows are tough. Patch would have been pleased if that had gone, but the fact that it hasn't, it's not necessarily the end of the world, but we know Jaden's going for these, don't we?
Yeah, well, he's got the angle straight away, really. And if that yellow passes the red at the top of the table, which it looks like it does, these are on now.
Now then, I don't think you can clip that back.
I think it is touching the rail, but means you're looking at the yellow at the top of the table past the red.
If he has to play the yellow that's sort of just above the blue spot, this is a serious shot to pull out.
He's going.
No, he can go. Yeah, sorry, that goes. Yeah, you're absolutely spot on. That's the one you meant, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But that was still a tough shot, queuing off the rail. It's getting mixy. It's getting mixy.
I think this red at the bottom of the table goes under the yellow as well. It's tight, but
yeah, I think you take that, don't you?
You've got to.
I think as well you've got a bit of margin, because I think if you go slightly jaw first, I think it kisses in off the yellow, doesn't it? You know, it probably goes clean, but you probably don't play it on that side of it. Oh, or you just
Can't believe it's
bang
gone
it
straight
in. Or you just absolutely rifle it in. What a shot from Andrew Patchett. Whistle clean from Firepower. And in this position, you know, we've just watched Jaden not get over the line in this frame, miss a ball that he would not have wanted to miss. And Andrew, you got the sense, could smell blood, but he's just played a bad shot.
He's come a bit high. I think he'll still play it. But now positional, it's a tiny bit harder.
Great shot.
Needs to run.
I think he's still on it. I think he can come underneath. Does he use that
think
corner pocket with the yellow again in a moment?
I think he's on both, yeah. So yeah, definitely use the one near the corner pocket. Anywhere in the middle of the table, you're fine.
He's come back the other way. Yeah, this is a nice route for the 8 ball. Oh, cue ball. Oh, Andrew. Oh, this match has just got so interesting.
I mean, it's a tiny bit unlucky, but I wouldn't have played it that hard. He's got the only saving grace is the yellow near the middle pocket makes this quite a big bag. So if he gets anywhere near, I think he'll pot it. Yeah, there you go.
Just like that, what a call. In it goes for Andrew Patchett. What a massive moment. What a massive moment.
Well, that's just winning the match, I think. I don't want to speak too soon, but yeah, I'll be absolutely over the moon to see that going.
Wow.
Puff for the cheeks.
You know, I've watched an awful lot of this game in the past sort of 5 years, and you just get a feeling sometimes, and you'll be familiar with the phrase, but it's like name on the trophy sort of stuff.
It is, yeah. And
the way that he's playing it, it's like he's sort of invincible.
Yeah, and he'll feel that way as well, which is the main thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I spoke to Tom Cousins after his win over Josh Kane earlier, and it was the sort of win that Tom's had a lot over the last couple of years. Usually has maybe like one every couple of tournaments that he won. He'd have one match where he absolutely did not deserve to win whatsoever, but he found a way. And that's all unquantifiable, aura sort of based vibes.
Yeah, I think.
But when you're winning, you just have that, don't you?
Yeah, definitely.
Andrew Patchett breaks. Kicked in off. It's not all over yet for Jaden Billingham, but he's backs to the wall now. He must win the remaining 3 frames.
Crazy, isn't it? Because if Patchett doesn't pot that black in the last frame, you know, Jaden takes those out, and then he's got these for the lead, you know, and he's 7-5 behind.
It is a crazy game. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Still plenty of time on the clock though to mount a comeback.
Yeah, time's not the issue. These guys will get done, barring a crazy tactical frame. They won't have to worry about a 6-red shootout here. Don't worry about the match clock. You may have to worry about the shot clock in a few minutes because 15 seconds will soon come, but this has been a fabulous match, and I'm pleased that it's going to be played out in time. It's the sort of match that's deserved to have an outright winner.
It's been a great match.
It's still fiddly for Jaden.
It's that 8 ball, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think you might actually see him leave the red over the corner pocket till last a bit short. I was going to say to screw into the black, but yeah, he wanted to be straighter.
Can he play it off the yellow maybe? No, he is.
I think it's too far away. I think he's got to. Yeah, he's just. Might be just all right. He might be coming off the cushion, hitting the yellow almost below the black. Or can he nip it?
I never ever like leaving the 8 ball to develop off your last ball. Feels like such a gamble every time. Is it a gamble that's paid off?
He's going to have to take it long, I think.
I think you take it, don't you? If you're offered Jaden this at the start of the frame, I think he probably takes it. He's straight enough to not have to worry about the middle pocket. In goes the 8. Jaden Billingham stays alive. This has been a quality match.
I don't want to say it because I am biased, and I obviously, you know, being from Yorkshire, I am a supporter of Patchet, but I kind of wanted to see a decider now.
Yeah, I mean, I am purely neutral here, and it's felt like the sort of game that has deserved a decider, in all truth. I think both players have been fantastic. This is table number 3. This is Kyle Cope taking on Rob Chambers, and Kyle should be getting back to within 1 here. 5-3 down, should be 5-4 any second. Yeah, a little bit far, but he's all right. That's 5-4.
He's having a little think, so white could go in off one of the yellows. It's fine.
Yeah, played a good shot. You can overthink those ones, can't you?
You can, definitely. I've been there.
We take a look at the crowd gathering. There's a few watching this one in the arena.
14 trailing 7 frames to 6.
Jaden Billingham needs to win this frame to force us the distance. Cue ball a little bit saved.
Wow, what a break.
What a break to find at this time in the match. One ball has just gone ugly. There is a little bit of work to do, but you couldn't wish for too much more at this stage.
You take any sort of chance. They've both got problems on it. I think it's the first ball. Where's the first ball coming from? It's reds, probably. Yeah, you've kind of just got that red to the bottom of the screen as we look just glued to the other red. So that's the issue. I'm surprised, you know, with the with that first shot. Then, you know, considering that red was his bad ball, I'd have probably gone into it then.
Yeah,
but
it's a sort of ball you don't want to leave till late. Can he play it as a double, I wonder? Can you just almost forget about it and leave a double?
Yeah, I thought the yellow was too close to it. I didn't think he could quite see enough of the red to get the double. That's why I didn't mention it. But
I think if the cue ball was the same size as the object balls, there's no chance. I wonder if it just slides in there. He's going to have to do something.
I think he's going to screw into it.
Yeah, it's this shot here, isn't it?
Yeah. He's looking at it the right way as well. You've got to come off that right-hand side rail before you make contact with the red. Otherwise, you're pushing the red onto the cushion. So he's going the right way as well. Does it come out for him? He's hit it wrong, but it's come out for him.
Well, you'll take it. We're going all the way.
We said decider. Yep.
We're going all the way. Fair play to Jaden Billingham, who 2 frames back has taken out 2 very, very good frames. We'll just wobble a little bit, but in he goes. Shakes Andrew Patchett's hand and says, I'll hopefully see you next at the table, because it's now out of Jaden Billingham's hands.
Definitely decider worthy this match.
Yeah, it's been a cracker. It really has been brilliant. Well done to both players. It'll be a tough one to lose because both will feel they had their moments.
Don't let me down, Patchet. Big break.
Yeah, that's all he'll be thinking about now. Just give
any
me
chance.
a ball.
Any
Just
chance.
give me a ball. Referee Rich Rhodes looks like he is making sure that everything can't be questioned. Making sure of a nice rack.
Wouldn't be surprised if Patchet checked the rack as well, given how important it is.
Here we go then. 15th and deciding frame. Andrew Patchett breaking for the win and for a semi-final. Got a ball. Cue ball is safe. Has he got a chance? You will take this. That's what Jaden Billingham thinks.
Wow, he says.
Brilliant opportunity for Andrew Patchett to go to his second ultimate pool semi-final. He only went to his first 2 weeks ago, and he's not even played it yet.
Well, the yellow's in the middle of the table a little bit fiddly, so you've just got to mind your work there. I think you go this yellow to the middle. I think he might play the plant, but then I'd play the yellow just to the left of the 8-ball to go track up the table and leave those 2 yellows down there long for where the 8-ball last.
15-second shot clock now in play.
And that's which way he's going, so
15-second shot clock's just kicked in. Don't get caught by the transition. He's a pretty naturally quick player, Andrew, and that helps him.
for me now it's this positional shot. If he gets this right, he's out for me. He's played it well.
Yeah, tap of the knee from Jaden Billingham. Andrew Patchett, 3 balls away from the last 4.
The black does go to the middle, past the reds. He's not bothered about that though.
Brilliant.
He will be absolutely buzzing with that.
What a performance, what a match. Well played to Jaden Billingham. He more than held his own in this one. It was a fabulous match. But it's Andrew Patchett who has powered his way into an ultimate pool semi-final. What a game that was.
What a fantastic match. I'm so chuffed for him.
Firepower into the final 4.